a hazy but clearing day in Anaheim Stadium as the Vikings 1-0 prepare to meet the Rams 0-1 in this second NFL Week 87. The temperature will be over 80 degrees before this game finishes. Humidity about 62%. There is a light breeze blowing in Anaheim Stadium. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome to a game between two teams with differing perspectives. The Rams in the playoffs each of the past 4 years, but losers of the last 4 games that meant anything to them. The Vikings out of the playoffs recently, but thinking that this may be the year they can get back to that level. Working with me, the longtime great quarterback of the Raiders, Kenny Stabler. And Kenny, a week ago, the Vikings, against Detroit at least, looked explosive.
They were explosive because they caught Detroit in some man-to-man type coverages. I don't think that will be the case today. The Ram philosophy is to play a weak side zone, a strong side zone, and not give them the opportunity to make those big plays. So I don't think they will be as explosive today. They'll have to take what the defense gives them.
I think the Rams may be in desperate need of some big plays themselves after last week.
Well, I think the Rams need a good game out of Jim Everett. Jim Everett has to play. He's the catalyst that is supposed to lift this team into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. For them to get there, he has to play well, complete some passes, get his confidence level up.
All right, so we will be taking a look at one team in a very different perspective from the other as the Vikings prepare to receive the opening kickoff. The Rams lead the series 15-12-2 and have won 5 of the last 6 times that the two teams met, including a very close game here 2 seasons ago. Deep for the Vikings are Greg Richardson, number 89, and flanked by 2 other Vikings in the triple formation. They are Neil Gugamos and Alan Rice. Mike Lansford, who has had a perfect preseason and was perfect with field goals and PATs last week, prepares to kick it off for the Rams. And the kick will be a little bit short and is taken by Gugamos. And Gugamos gets it out to the 30-yard line, and now Wade Wilson prepares to come on to start the game once again for the Vikings after a big second-half performance last week. And here's the defense against which Wilson will be throwing. Doug Reed, Greg Meissner, and Sean Miller along the front when the Rams are in their basic 3-4. The linebackers are outstanding. Eckern returning from injury this week. And the defensive backs are very good as well. Gray and Irvin, 2 of the better covering corners in the league. Johnson and Newsome, both potential all-pro safety men. First down with the ball right at the 30-yard line. And the Vikings give it to Dozier, the rookie running back, has a yard or 2. Meissner with the tackle from the nose guard position. Minnesota on offense, Wilson, Dozier, Alfred Anderson, Anthony Carter, and Leo Lewis are the wide receivers. The tight end, Steve Jordan, is a terrific player. The offensive line featuring 2 former USFL players, Zimmerman and Huffman, together on the left side. Final score, Atlanta beating Washington. So the Redskins, after the big win with Doug Williams at quarterback last week, fall to Atlanta today. On second down, the give is the number 20, Darren Nelson, who is expected to get spot duty today after missing last week's game with an injury. Carl Eckern, back also from injury this week, made the tackle, number 55, for the Rams. And now, on third down, 5 yards to go, the Rams go in to their nickel defense with 6 defensive backs in the football game.
The thing that makes this Viking offense so tough to defend, Jim, is the fact that they spread the ball around so much. Dozier's giving them that ability. They're great speed outside, and they do spread the ball around and test the defense in every area.
Wilson looks down the sideline to Anthony Carter. And Carter is all the way inside the Ram 20 to the 18-yard line. A 45-yard gain before Johnny Johnson knocked him out of bounds.
Great play on Wilson's part here. You'll see Wilcher, the linebacker, coming around, putting an awful lot of pressure on him, and gets right in his face. And here's the big play capabilities that Anthony Carter brings. Great throw, and nobody around him. The safety has to come to make the play. That's the thing that makes this team so tough, is the great outside speed that they have and the ability to run the ball with Dozier.
Leroy Irvin, the corner whom Carter beat, is regarded as a great man-on-man coverage player. The Vikings like to go ahead and force the ball to Carter when they're in that situation. Alfred Anderson with the football gets it inside the 15. Newsome on the stop for the Rams. They called a gain 4 yards on first down. It will be second down 6. There is Jerry Burns, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, one of the least assuming men you will find among head coaches in professional football. Well, call it second and 5, as the pickup was 5 by Anderson. And Darren Nelson is down near the 10. Reed with the stop for the Rams. John Robinson has seen his team lose 4 games in a row.
They brought in another tight end on that particular play, Jim. They brought in Carl Hilton, number 82, lined up in a 2 tight end type offense to protect the corners, and it is predominantly a running type formation, which you're going to get down inside the 10-yard line.
And it is third down 2 now, with the ball at the 10-yard line. Dozier back in the game at running back for the Vikings. Rick Fenny, number 31, gets the football, and Fenny tries to dive forward for the first down, and I think he may have it. Viking offensive lineman signaling that Fenny has moved the chain. It would be first and goal. Eckern made the stop for L.A.
Eckert's the leader on the Los Angeles Ram defense, the guy who calls all the signals. He's the mainstay in the middle in there, brings an awful lot of experience, and is like a quarterback on defense for the Ram defense.
Well, I was premature in calling it a first down, as now without bringing the chain, the officials mark it fourth down. The ball just inside the 9. Crowd begins to pick up tempo as the Vikings leave the offense on the field. Fenny and Nelson are the setback. Double tight end. And Darren Nelson gets the first down inside the 7 before Vince Newsom made the stop for L.A.
Not anything fancy up front, Jim. It's just a plain man-on-man. Everybody slanting a little bit to the left side. A man-on-man blocking combination with a fullback leading. And here you see Darren Nelson diving in for the first down. Nothing fancy up front, just plain vanilla going right at him.
Good job by Huffman and Zimmerman on the left side. Alfred Anderson now enters the game, replacing Fenny at fullback as the Vikings line up in the I. Good play by number 69. Greg Meissner, the nose guard, who whipped past the center, Dennis Swilley, to get to Anderson.
No matter what you do, Jimmy, on the running game, you have to be able to control the nose guard. And as you see right here, the nose guard whips the center, meets the ball carrier, just as he's getting the ball, gets penetration. Anytime a defensive lineman gets that kind of penetration, destroys all the time.
So now it's second and goal back at the 8. The Vikings stay in the 2 tight end configuration, but now split one of them to the side. Nelson is in the slot. Leo Lewis in motion. Wilson throws down the middle. And Hilton will get credit for the touchdown. Wade Wilson's 4th touchdown pass of the early season.
The toughest thing to cover down on the goal line is anything that's a crossing type route. You really don't have an awful lot of room to work with, so everything that you do run down there needs to be some kind of crossing.
So the Vikings open with a 70-yard touchdown drive. And Chuck Nelson, a former 4th-round draft choice of the Rams, will try to add the extra point.
Here you see the end zone shot of the touchdown. Like we were saying, the toughest thing to cover down here is crossing routes. On the right of your screen, you see number 82. You see Carl Hilton crossing in front of the line, in front of Vince Newsom. Nice throw, right in the numbers, falls down and falls into the end zone. Good awareness of knowing that he was not in the end zone. Gets up, falls back into the end zone. Crossing route, very tough to cover down in there.
Newsom apparently peeking into the backfield as Hilton crossed in front of him.
After talking to the defensive coordinators, they said that when a defensive back looks into the backfield, it's an opportunity to do crossing things in front of him, and it's you get a guy who peeks like that, he's vulnerable.
So the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Big play in the drive. The fourth down pickup of a first down by Darren Nelson
Probably
inside the Ram 10.
The very thing, Jim, that burned them last week in Houston was the fact that they didn't tackle well. Leroy Irvin goes for the interception and missed the tackle in the same time, and that's the way that Houston got the big plays. It wasn't a breakdown on defense other than a tackling situation. Bad decision on Leroy Irvin's part.
There's a look at John Robinson, who saw his team lose its last 2 regular season games last year, then the wild card playoff game, then the opener last week with Houston. Statistics on the scoring drive for Minnesota. Wade Wilson, who was brilliant in preseason, had an off half in the first half last week. Terrific again in the second half. Opens with a great drive. Charles White, number 33, and Mickey Sutton, 49, are deep for the Rams as Nelson kicks it off. Charles White has a hole and gets it to the 28-yard line. So now Jim Everett will come on for the Rams. Already a touchdown down as he gets the ball for the first time. And here is the defense against which he'll be going. Minnesota playing the classic 4-3. And these are good athletes up front, particularly Millard. Studwell at middle linebacker should get a lot of action today as the Rams want to take a few shots against him with the tight end. Henderson and Carl Lee are not regarded by the Rams as superior cornerbacks. They believe there are openings there for their passing game today if Everett plays well. On first down, it is Eric Dickerson, the NFL's preeminent yardage gainer, gets only a couple to about the 30. Jesse Solomon ran him out of bounds for Minnesota. Rams backs and receivers. Ron Brown with a hip pointer last week will start today nevertheless. Offensive line is a very good one. Hara and Slater both up in years, but neither has seen a drop-off in performance. We welcome those of you who've been watching Tampa Bay and Chicago, where the Bears won 20-3. I'm Jim Lampley, along with Ken Stabler in Anaheim, California, whereas the Rams run it on second down. Dickerson being met by Studwell. It is already Minnesota 7, Rams nothing. The Vikings took the opening kickoff and went 70 yards. Got a 47-yard pass from Wade Wilson to Anthony Carter to move the ball into scoring territory. Got a fourth down pickup of a first down inside the 10 by Darren Nelson. Got an 8-yard touchdown pass from Wilson to tight end Carl Hilton.
Awfully important for him to play well this week, Jim. Didn't play very well last week.
And here now he faces 3rd and 6. Number 11 for the Rams, Everett, the key man. Good tackle. Henry Ellard made the catch for the Rams. And number 24, Wyman Henderson, an excellent tackler at the corner, stopped them short of a first down.
Part of the Zampese offense, just a nickel and dime. This time they've come up a little bit short by throwing the ball underneath the flag. Here you see Everett releasing the ball. A little check play out here to the receiver. Comes up short by, he should know where the flag is. Henry Ellard needs to know where the first down flag is. Run your route past that for the first down.
Number 89, Greg Richardson, deep for Minnesota, as Dale Hatcher prepares to kick it away for the Rams. Hatcher averaged over 46 yards on 7 boots in the Astrodome last week.
Great kick.
Richardson goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line after a 4-yard return. 46-yard pick for Hatcher, and there's a flag down. Referee Red Cashin signaling motion against the Rams. And they'll kick it again.
Shaky start for the Rams. Come up short on the first down, and they penalize themselves, and the very thing they need to do is get some kind of consistency, some kind of continuity to their offense. They fumbled the ball away last week. Dickerson fumbled, 2 interceptions by Everett, and the Zampese offense.
Illegal motion, left side of the Ram line, still 4th down.
The Zampese offense is a nickel and dime type thing, and that's what they need to do, is maintain control of the ball, get a lot of confidence for their quarterback.
Ernie Zampese, who came up the coast. As you look at Jerry Burns, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, himself a longtime offensive coordinator under Bud Grant. Zampese, the new offensive coordinator of the Rams, came up from San Diego, where he had been in charge of the Air Coryell attack. Now Hatcher kicking again. Another beauty. Richardson gets another 4-yard return, and they'll have it at the 27. Michael Stewart made the stop for the Rams, and there's another flag down. Still another Ram mistake.
The very thing, like we talked about earlier, this team has not played very well all the preseason. Didn't play very well last week with the turnovers against the Houston Oilers. Turnovers, fumbles, penalized themselves, and just really didn't have any kind of consistency. As you see, John Robinson's very...
Downfield too early. Number 53 of the kickers, still 4th down.
So the Rams, with penalties, have now burned 2 46-yard Hatcher punts.
And the very thing they need to do is they need to keep some kind of consistency. Last week, their offense, after talking to Jim Everett, some of the offensive people, they seemed to think that they had a little bit too much in. Nobody was on the same page as far as the offense is concerned. Just small mistakes here and there.
Deep snapper Sam Anno, the man who was penalized, prepares to fling it back to Hatcher again. Another beauty. But the Vikings net a couple more yards and get it out near the 30. Norwood Van made the stop downfield for the Rams on the 51-yard punt as Wade Wilson comes on.
Something you have to like about Wade Wilson is the fact that last week he started out with interceptions early in the game, wound up with 3 interceptions during the course of the game, kept firing, kept lining up, kept throwing it at him, eventually 3 touchdown passes, and this is part of the growing pains with a young quarterback. He's not a young quarterback, 7 years, but he hasn't played a lot. That's part of the growing pains, is to be able to win when you don't play well early.
Vikings on their first drive ran the ball 7 times and threw it twice. And Darren Nelson dropped the ball.
Good first down play, little play pass. Good first down call. Anytime you have a good running game, you have a Dozier, you have Anderson in there who runs the ball very well. You give them a little play fake, try to slip a good pass receiver like Darren Nelson in behind the linebacker, which they did then very effectively, and the ball should have been caught. But a nice first down call. Very likable coach right here, a players type coach. All the players, they respect him an awful lot. He gives them a lot of leeway to be the individuals that they are, but yet they still understand that he is the boss.
They just missed the playoffs last year. Down, it is Dozier with the football. And the rookie out of Penn State is met by Mel Owens after a pickup of about 3 yards.
DJ Dozier brings us the very same thing that Chuck Foreman had back in the days when the Vikings were going to the Super Bowl every 4 years or every 3 or 4 years. Great pass receiver, gives them a good inside runner. He's also a good outside runner, and they say that he will block for you also.
The Vikings were winners in the NFC Central Division 8 times in the 70s, missing only in 72 and 79. In the 80s, they have struggled to get back to that level. Of course, part of that has to do with the ascension of the Bears. 3rd down. Open. Leo Lewis. And number 25, who just got a hand on the ball, was Jerry Gray of Texas.
End zone shot of Jerry Gray and Leo Lewis. Leo Lewis going right down the seam, and the ball is very well thrown, just tipped by Gray at the last minute, who is a fine defensive player. That's the thing that the Minnesota Vikings bring into the game, is they bring a lot of outside speed and big play capabilities.
So now Henry Ellard goes deep to receive for the Rams, as Greg Coleman will try his 2nd punt of the young season. Only had to kick 1 time against Detroit. Ellard is across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Jesse Solomon downfield to make the stop. And once again, Everett comes on for the Rams after the 45-yard kick and 7-yard return.
Talked to Jim Everett yesterday at practice, and he understands the amount of pressure that's on him, and he is supposed to be the catalyst that lifts this team into the Super Bowl. He understands that, and I think he handles it very well. Very likable young man, has a terrific amount of ability, big, strong, 6'5", throws the ball. Just needs to get a good game under his belt to get his confidence level up.
All of the Rams say that Everett is a natural leader. He got a great opportunity to show it this week after a miserable performance in the Astrodome last week. Number 24 is Buford McGee, a one-time Zampese player at San Diego who came up the coast in the Barry Redden deal. We welcome those of you who watched San Francisco beat Cincinnati on the last play of the game to Anaheim Stadium. I'm Jim Lampley with Ken Stabler. We're in the first quarter here with the Rams trailing the Vikings 7-0. On second down 3, Eric Dickerson appears to pick up the first down before Joey Browner stops him for the Vikings. The Vikings took the opening kickoff here and went 70 yards in 9 plays, scoring on an 8-yard pass from Wade Wilson to Carl Hilton.
They haven't wasted any time at testing the Rams secondary. They came out and threw the ball deep 2 times out of the first 2 series, and evidently they may have seen something back there that tips something that they can do to get the ball deep.
The measurement will show Dickerson just a little short of a first down. Jerry Burns, the coach of the Minnesota Vikings, saw his team play badly in the first half last week against Detroit and come out and explode against man-to-man coverages in the second half to get 3 Wilson touchdown passes and win the game 34-19.
Burnsy, as they call him, has really got them playing well, playing together as a unit on both sides of the ball. They respect him an awful lot, and the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator can do the chewing out and criticizing the players while he maintains control of everything.
Face 3rd and 1. Everett fumbles the football. Initial indication is that he fell on it himself. And now Everett takes exception to some of the actions of Viking tacklers there. And the Rams, who had a shoving match with the Oilers last week, begin an early shoving match with the Vikes.
A lot of it happens out of frustration, Jimmy. Last week, like we said, they turned the ball over. They started pushing shoving contest. They haven't played early in this game, and they take their frustrations out on the opposing team. It's really something that they have to start to control and get that offense going. They haven't had any kind of consistency in the last 3-4 games.
Now let's wait and see if Everett picked up the first down. He's still short. Once again, Hatcher will come on to punt. And a percentage of the crowd, not all, but a percentage of the crowd expresses displeasure. The way they're playing, Kenny, I think they have to kick it away.
There's no doubt about it. They have to kick the ball away right here. You can't. It's too early in the game, Jim, to take that kind of chance, especially the way the offense is playing, fumbling the ball around. They don't seem to be real sure they're blocking combinations.
Hatcher's first kick, he had to kick it 3 times, almost blocked, but he got that away. Richardson makes the fair catch at the 12-yard line. It was Gerald Robinson who very nearly blocked the kick for the Vikings. And now Robinson is limping off the field for Minnesota. So we'll watch that situation. We'll come back with Minnesota leading 7-0. We bring you back live to Anaheim Stadium, where the Vikings lead the Rams in the first quarter 7-0. Here was the touchdown that capped a 70-yard drive to start things off for Minnesota. It was an 8-yard touchdown pass from Wilson to Carl Hilton.
They bring in their second tight end, Carl Hilton, run him on a crossing route in front of Vince Newsom, the strong safety, catches the ball and turns and falls into the end zone. This all was set up by a big play by Anthony Carter, the big play man on the team.
A 47-yard catch. Very early in that first possession by Carter from Wilson set it up. Then there was a 4th down conversion to first down as Darren Nelson got it inside the 10-yard line. Those were the two key plays in setting up the touchdown pass to Hilton. Now the Vikings begin their third possession of the game from their 12-yard line.
Two tight end formation here, Jimmy.
Flags flying as Alfred Anderson, one-time Baylor star, gets it, and Carl Eckern and Mel Owens made the stop for the Rams.
Vikings come out in a two tight end formation to help protect the corners. Not unusual to do that on this particular part of the field. Backed up inside your 10-yard line, you really don't want those outside linebackers to get a run at you.
Initial indication from Red Cashin is for another Ram mistake.
Offside. Number 54 of the defense lined up in the neutral zone. Still first down.
Not any major problems. It's really hurting the Rams. It's just the small things. They fumble the snap from center. They penalize themselves 2 or 3 times on the punt situations, would help the Vikings get better field position. A small penalty here. It's things that can be worked out, but it's just little things that are hurting them.
That was the outside linebacker Wilcher who lined up in the neutral zone. They'll make it 1st and 5 for Minnesota. Fake to Dozier. And Steve Jordan is hit. The ball was delivered downfield. Vince Newsom with the good play in the Rams secondary.
They try to slip Jordan underneath after a play fake to Dozier. The quarterback gets outside of it. Here comes a tight end coming across. Good throw, but a good hit by a good physical, strong safety in Vince Newsom.
Newsom in the starting lineup this year, and that means that Nolan Cromwell, for the first time in his illustrious 11-year career, begins the season as a reserve player.
Made life tough on me a bunch.
There's Cromwell in the game on the nickel defense, 2nd and 5. Wilson overthrows Anthony Carter, and that time he was well covered by Newsom.
Zone type coverage looked like Leroy Irvin came up short and Newsom deep, and he tried to hit it in the zone in between them. Overthrown, but a good place to throw the ball. If you can't catch it, throw it where nobody else can.
And Wilson, who completed his first 2 passes of the game, has now missed 4 in a row.
That's the thing you like to see a young quarterback, though. If he'll miss 4 or 5 passes in a row and keep throwing them, and that's what he did last week and eventually got to the Detroit Lions.
Now on 3rd down 5, the Rams with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs in the game. And timeout is called by the Vikings. So Wilson burns a timeout on 3rd and 5 deep in his territory. And with Minnesota leading 7-zip, we'll be back. As we bring you back to Anaheim Stadium, Wade Wilson prepares to tackle 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. Some thought that the Vikings Pro Bowl quarterback of a year ago, number 1 rated passer in the league last year, Tommy Kramer, might be able to play this week. But no, Kenny.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday, and he pinched a nerve in his neck, and it comes and goes. Sometimes he has a lot on the ball, but sometimes when he pulls the trigger, he can't get anything on it, and it's something that's got him real frustrated.
The Ram blitz. Gustafson, the intended receiver. Jerry Gray with the play for L.A. Wilson has missed his last 5, and the Vikings will kick it away. So now the Rams will get a chance for good field position as Coleman prepares to take the snap. And deep for Los Angeles is number 80, Henry Ellard.
They should get some good field position out of this to get that offense cranked up, give them more room to do a lot of different things. Open up that offense some, and a good field position will dictate that.
Rams play for the return. Coleman hits a big one. Ellard got a lucky bounce. And almost got a wall. Back to the 35-yard line. Neil Gugamas downfield to make the tackle for the Vikings, and the Rams will have it, trailing 7-0 when we come back. We've got 4 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. On the first 2 Ram possessions, both 3 plays and then punt, Jim Everett completed his first 2 passes, but both were underneath. He hasn't gone downfield yet.
Hasn't tested them deep yet, which they'll have to do to get them off where they can work the things underneath. But Jim Everett is going to be the quarterback of the future for this team. All of his teammates realize that, and that no one would like more than his offensive line to get a good game going for him.
wide receivers to the top of the screen. And on first down, Everett is going to look for the screen. Good block. 8-yard pickup. Carl Lee made the stop for the Vikings. Looking quickly around the league at other games. Atlanta beat Washington. There are Doug Williams numbers on the day and a losing effort for the Skins. Philadelphia, a winner over New Orleans, so the Saints up last week, down this week. San Francisco comes back to beat Cincinnati on the last play of the game. Montana with 3 touchdown passes. Second down and 3. Dickerson met in the middle of the line. Henry Thomas made the stop. The rookie nose guard playing well there for the Vikings. More scores of other games. The Bears win again, and Walter Payton got his 107th rushing touchdown to snap a tie with Jim Brown and become the all-time leader in that category. Green Bay and Denver are in overtime, tied at 17. The number of teams who played well last week and are struggling this week. Seattle on top of Kansas City, 3-0 in the first quarter. Of course, the Seahawks trying to come back from the resounding defeat at the hands of the Broncos last week. Double tight on third and short. And Dickerson has the first Ram first down of the football game.
Here's a short yardage play. They get their first down, of course, which is always the toughest one to get. But it's a man-on-man type situation. You see, it's the center on the tackle, the guard on the tackle, the fullback Gooman leading Eric Dickerson up the middle, and there you see 75 making the play. Nothing fancy, just man-on-man blocking for the first down.
That is Dickerson's number from last week. This is the kind of possession he likes. He's not getting yardage, but he wants to get the ball time after time.
After talking to him yesterday, he said he liked to carry the ball several times in succession to get himself lathered up, to get himself in the rhythm of the game, and not run the ball 2 plays and not carry it for 6 or 7 plays, but he likes to carry the ball in succession.
6 carries so far, though, Snake, for only 9 yards. And in his previous appearance against the Vikings back in '85, he only had 55 yards in that game.
Vikings seemed to play him very well. A little draw action that time, but they read it pretty well. A little spread formation now, Jim.
Second down, 11 yards to go. Brown to the near side. And Dickerson gets the football and is met on the corner as number 54, Jesse Solomon, came up to play it very well. Vikings haven't missed a tackle on Dickerson yet.
Little misdirection type thing. Takes a step to the left and tries to come back and get the blocking off the corner. You see the Ellard running the guy off, cuts it outside, and they make the play. They're playing them very well, creating the short yardage situations. Third and 5. 6.
Yeah, make it 3rd and 6. After the 4-yard pickup, Buford McGee joins Dickerson in the backfield. Both wide receivers go to the top of the screen. Everett with plenty of time, and Ellard is going to be well short of the first down. Another good tackle back there by cornerback Carl Lee.
I don't know what they're trying to achieve in that particular case. It's a little unusual. That's been 2 times in succession, Jim, that they've thrown the ball under the needed amount of yardage for the first down. They're 3rd and 6. They throw a 3-yard pass and hope he can run for it. I've always been taught through John Madden's philosophy that if you're going to throw the ball for the first down, throw the ball beyond the marker.
Hatcher has been hitting the ball very well today, but probably for Robinson's taste, too often. Richardson makes a fair catch at the 11-yard line, so the Vikings again will start deep in their territory. But they lead 7-0, and we'll be back. In Anaheim, we've got 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and with DJ Dozier on the sideline for the moment, Darren Nelson, number 20, takes his place again at running back for the Vikings, a role player whose role could be enhanced by Dozier's presence.
Absolutely. It takes a special athlete to know that he is a role player to come into special situations, and they're valuable players to a team.
Wilson wants to throw, gets it to Nelson, and you saw how quickly he spotted the hole and went right to it for about a 7-yard pickup. Owens and Eckern on the tackle for the Rams, and now the clock will run out on the first quarter.
There you see the reason he's a role player. He's a good pass receiver. When he's in the game, they're going to use him and use his abilities. And his strengths are as a breakaway runner, a shifty runner, and as a pass receiver. In that case, they use him as a pass receiver.
So Nelson and the Vikes will now go to the other end of the field. They lead 7-zip, and we'll be back. We bring it back now to Anaheim Stadium in Orange County, California. I'm Jim Lampley with Kenny Stabler, where the Vikings lead the Los Angeles Rams 7-0 as the second quarter begins. Vikings with second down, 3 yards to go, the ball at their 18-yard line. Wade Wilson quarterbacking Minnesota. Tommy Kramer, of course, is out with a pinched nerve in his neck. Wilcher knocks the ball down, and if he could have held on, he had a touchdown. Interesting pass in that position on the field.
Very dangerous pass in that position on the field, especially to this guy's side. Mike Wilcher is probably the best cover guy they have as a linebacker, and you see him here covering the guy in the flat, almost picked off. But Wilcher is the guy that will stay in on their nickel and dime situations because he's a great pass rusher and he's also a good cover guy.
Of course, they had gone to Nelson in the flat on first down on the right side of the field. That time they came back to the other side of the field with him. Anderson and Dozier now the setbacks on 3rd and 3. Flag down in the secondary, away from the ball as Wilson threw it behind number 87, Leo Lewis.
We may have a pushing off or holding of the tight end, I think, here, Jim. Yes, it's holding the tight end coming across. Looks like it might have been Johnny Johnson.
Another Ram mistake. 4th penalty of the game for the Rams.
Number 55
Each one
on
has
the
hurt them.
defense. First down.
Carl Eckert, a great middle linebacker, holding the tight end coming across.
Robinson's sense of dismay or disgust begins to deepen. You look at Eckern coming back from injury this week.
Certainly has to be concerned with the way this team is playing early with the turnovers that they've had last week, the penalties this week.
Double tight end now on first down for the Vikings. Ball at the 22. Wide open is Jordan, and he makes a big catch inside Ram territory near the 40-yard line. 38-yard pickup. Newsome made the stop for the Rams, but Wilson found the seam.
Watch what a great play fake on Wilson's part right here. Takes a snap, gives a great play fake to hold those linebackers to give the tight end time to get by. Very well thrown pass and a nice catch by Jordan. There he is getting behind him. The play fake made the play happen. Good play fake, held everybody, give him time to get behind him.
Jordan, the 6-year veteran out of Brown, has been distracted somewhat. He is the Vikings player rep. But what an athlete at tight end.
I don't think the strike was on his mind then.
No, it was the Vikings who were making the strike there as they struck into Ram territory. Now there's timeout on the field, and Wilson goes over to talk with Burns.
I have a little bit of a problem with using timeouts in situations like he did earlier, or using a timeout here. I've always been under the impression that to keep those timeouts, save them prior to a halftime to get downfield with them.
Interesting that Wilson has already used 2 of them. He talks now with offensive coordinator Bob Schnelker, and we'll be back. With less than a minute gone in the second quarter, the Vikings lead the Rams 7-0. What's happened in the game? Well, Everett of the Rams has 4 completions, but for a total of 19 yards. Wilson of the Vikings has 4 completions for 100 yards. The Rams have not been able to spring Eric Dickerson loose, and they have only 1 first down. Vikings are moving the football for the second time in the game. Reverse to Leo Lewis. Wilson trying to throw a block. Can't make it on Mike Wilson.
Reverse-type plays are good for teams that pursue very well, like the linebackers of the Rams. You see the reverse coming to the right side of your screen, trying to get around, but this play is played very well by Mike Wilchers. Pursues very well, good pass cover, good pass rusher, good athlete in the linebacking core for the Rams.
And Wilson demonstrated that discretion may be the better part of valor there as he squared up as if to throw a block on Wilcher and then elected not to try.
All quarterbacks are usually pretty good blockers.
Yeah, right. Second down and 16 yards to go. The Rams with 6 defensive backs. Wilson gets away. Way deep and open is Anthony Carter. Touchdown pass.
This is what a quarterback that has an awful lot of mobility can bring to your offense. You see Wilcher, who he said was a good pass rusher in there, putting the pressure. He steps up in front of all this, and the big play capabilities of Anthony Carter comes back to haunt him again. Bang, TD. That rings the meter for him.
Carter's second catch. He's got 93 yards on receptions now. Johnny Johnson was the man who let Carter behind him in the end zone.
Very unusual, too, for a Ram defense. Their philosophy on defense has always been play the good zones, make people go long distances, and throw the ball in front of you. Their downfall today has been the big play. 3 long completions on the part of Wade Wilson.
Chuck Nelson bangs the extra point through, and the Vikings have taken a 14-0 lead against a moribund Ram team with 13 minutes to go in the half. When Anthony Carter came out of the University of Michigan, Kenny Stabler, there were a lot of NFL scouts who said he was too slow to make the kind of big plays in this league that he did in college.
Well, since they've been saying that, he just continuously made big plays. He made them last week. They made 2 big plays in this game, and just a big play athlete. Some players have a knack for being able to make the big plays, and he's certainly one of them.
And what they say about Carter is he's fast enough when the ball is in the air. Nelson's kick is taken by Mickey Sutton. Sutton gets close to the 30, and a flag flies into the area where the tackle was made. Wyman Henderson was the man who made the stop. Another Ram mistake.
They just keep hurting themselves with the penalties. Penalties, fumbles, turnovers.
Holding during the run back. Number 87 by the receivers. First down at 10.
5th penalty of the game against L.A., and each one has damage.
Coach Robbie certainly looks a little upset about it, too.
Scoring drive had 2 big plays in it. The 38-yard catch by Jordan, the 46-yard touchdown pass from Wilson to Anthony Carter. We said Minnesota was explosive last week. Might not be this week. Look how wrong you can be.
Well, that's why I'm up here instead of down there, I suppose.
The chance to hit him by slowing up, and Browner said, "Thank you, I'll do that."
In that case, you're better off just getting out of bounds. I don't think you need to be a hero and try to run over a 220-pound strong safety. Here he is headed for the sidelines, which is the best place for him to be right now, is over there with the water boy. Instead, he slows down, gives Browner a chance to hit him, and Browner led him in tackles last week. Tough player.
The Rams, so far in the game, have produced 37 yards of total offense. 6 defensive backs now on the field for Minnesota. Again, Dickerson goes practically nowhere, and again, there is a flag on the field. Vikings haven't been penalized yet, and now they will be.
Offside, lined up in the neutral zone. Number 79 on the defense, still second down.
Maybe their longest gain yet.
Biggest offensive play of the day. Well, it gives them a chance to get out of a hole. Ball's at the 22-yard line. It will be second down, 2 yards to go. Miami beats Indianapolis. Danny Marino is hot. Malone throws 5 interceptions as the Browns beat Pittsburgh. He was 9 of 33 last week. And you wonder how long it'll be before Bubby Brister gets a shot. Everett throws it right into the hands of Jesse Solomon. Out of bounds inside the 1-yard line.
You wonder if it's because of a new offense. They don't really seem to be on the same page. Here he releases the ball. Kevin House is not even looking for the ball yet, and it's a timing thing, and it makes you wonder if the Zampese offense, if everybody is not really sure of what they're doing, because they certainly don't look to be on the same page. They have the penalties. Everett's throwing the ball before the receiver is ready. Maybe he ran the ball too deep, maybe route too deep. Maybe the ball was delivered too soon, but they're certainly not in sync.
Jesse Solomon only started 2 games in his college career at Florida State. He has been a terrific player for the Vikings in his brief NFL career. And there's Everett.
Talking to him at practice the other day, he said they were going to do the things that they felt like that they were comfortable with. They were going to cut things down, not as many plays, do things that everybody knew what to do. It certainly hasn't worked today. They seem to be terrifically out of sync. Could have run it in. I think you'd like to have that one back.
Jordan was the man along the back line. The ball went up into the stands. And I think Wilson gave the Rams a little bit of a break. Or probably just a reprieve.
Should have kept the ball, run the ball in, but he shows his strength. He's 6'3" and about 215. You see the guy you see Meisner get his hands on him, slings him around. He'd like to have that one back. Should have been a touchdown, or he could have run the ball in. Real strong quarterback.
But because of the pass incompletion, it will be second and goal, and they're still inside the 1. You saw the numbers on Wilson. Both big backs now, Dozier and Anderson, behind Wilson. Dozier is met at the line. Yes, Rams football. Big play by the Ram defense. Vince Newsome made the hit. Collins made the hit, Collins made the hit. Newsome got the football.
Might be the thing that they need. Might be the thing they need to get a little momentum. Here you see coming across the kick out. You see the fullback, Anderson leading. Dozier hops up. There's Jim Collins to pop the ball loose right into Newsome's hands. That might be the thing that they will need to get the momentum on their side to get something going. A big play by their defense.
You saw Newsome looking to lateral the football as he went down. He was thinking touchdown. I think that assistant coach might be telling him, Vince, it's enough that we got the football.
We'll take it right there. 2 tight end formation here. Got to get the ball out, get some room to work.
Running game is going nowhere.
Usually the strength of their team, the running game, but somebody seems to be breaking free on every play.
David Howard made the tackle for the Vikings. Atlanta beat Washington. That's a bit of a shocker. San Francisco scored on the last play to beat Cincinnati. Chicago rolled past Tampa Bay. Peyton broke a tie with Jim Brown for rushing touchdowns. Marino 3 TD passes. Miami beat Indianapolis. Cleveland pounded Pittsburgh. Malone with a bad day. Second and long for the Rams. Everett at the goal line. Number 55 is Scott Studwell. Vikings want a safety, but he's not in the end zone.
2 tight end formation to help secure the corners. This is just strictly a drop back pass, but like we said earlier, somebody's coming free on every play. There you see the linebacker coming through, forcing Everett to drop down. Scott Studwell, what a great player he's been for a long time. The leader of that defense, calls the signals, and has been a mainstay in that defensive group for years.
And And, of course, after Solomon's interception on the last possession, it's understandable that Everett would be reluctant to release the ball.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit tentative, and here he is again.
And to throw it a long way, almost had it. Intended receiver was Kevin House. Couldn't quite get to it. Neil Gugamas there to cover. If it had been Ron Brown, he might have been able to run under it.
That tight pass serves a couple of purposes. If he hits it, it gets them out of trouble, get out and get field position where they can do something. If the ball is intercepted, it serves as just like a punt. So that pass serves a couple of different situations. John Robinson has to be concerned.
So you can see where Hatcher is standing.
One of the most important things on an offensive part, Jim, is when you get down in this situation is to get the ball out at least a 5-7 yard line so that you can give your punter room to kick.
Shortens his step, gets it away. Good kick. Good coverage, and Richardson has only a 3-yard return. 51-yard punt, 3-yard return. Norwood Van again downfield to make the tackle and trying to pump the Rams up a little bit as he comes off the field. It's time now for some outrageous optimism. Next Sunday, CBS Sports has lots more exciting NFL action. The Eagles will face Joe Montana in San Francisco. Minnesota will battle Kansas City. Green Bay will face Tampa Bay, and more. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. As always, it starts with the NFL Today next Sunday on CBS, and of course, that could all be a moot point. Yep. If Tuesday goes the way it seems to be going. Wilson throws the ball wide of Lewis on first down. It'll be 2nd and 10. A head coach will often stand at the 50-yard line, merely pace the sideline during the game. After that last little fiasco, John Robinson decided to get involved with the Rams.
You can bet you can't put what he's saying on the air, and if you notice, it's the offense. The defense has kept them as close as it's been right here. John Robinson has always been known as a player's coach, but you can bet right now he's voicing his opinion about the way the offense is played.
He was distraught after last week's game. That graphic says it all about the Ram offense. Flags down in the Viking backfield as Wilson releases the ball. Wilcher was the man trying to get at Wilson, and Dozier tackled him.
Dozier looked like an RCA rodeo cowboy. Riding for 8 seconds.
RCA, isn't that another network?
Rodeo Cowboy Association, isn't it?
DJ Dozier learned blocking and tackling, apparently, as a high school running back. Went to the same high school in Virginia Beach, Virginia, that produced another great initial athlete.
Who would that be?
J.R. Reed.
Get up, Dave.
Of the Heels.
Tar Heels.
Holding, number 42 on the offense. Still 2nd down.
So Dozier goes to the sideline now as the Vikings prepare to go against 6 Ram defensive backs. Buffalo with a 34-30 win, and look at the numbers on Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
Well, you talk about big and strong.
Another big, strong one.
Still, no, final. After overtime, a tie. Darren Nelson is met and dropped. And as you said, Kenny, the Ram defense is keeping them in the game.
Could be a lot worse than it is, but the Ram defense playing very well, holding them on their side of the field, and hopefully the talk that John Robinson gave his offense will work, because the defense can't stay out there all day. The worst thing you can do is 1, 2, 3 and out, leave your defense on the field forever. Sooner or later, they're going to tire.
Well, of course, you could say it really should be 21-0 when you go a long way for touchdowns twice and then get it on the half-yard line and can't get it in.
Big turnover by the defense. Saved them again.
Both big backs in the game. Anderson and Dozier flanking Wilson out of the shotgun. It's 3rd and 15 to go. And number 77 is Gary Jeter, pass rushing specialist, 11-year veteran out of SC, but Wilcher was there again as well.
Gary Jeter, the designated pass rusher, comes in on a nickel situations. Also, like we said earlier, Mike Wilcher is a good pass rusher. You see Jeter on your right hand, middle of your screen. Here comes Jeter to make the play after he was forced up in the middle by Mike Wilcher.
They're really having trouble handling Wilcher coming from the outside. Coleman goes back to kick it for the Vikings. That's another Tar Heel, you know, Mike Wilcher.
Like the Tar Heels, do you?
Well, I've known a couple of them.
You are one, aren't you?
Used to be. Coleman gets it away against a Ram rush. It's a short punt. Takes a Ram bounce and is downed at the 33-yard line. So Everett and company will have some field position, and we will see after the 34-yard punt precisely how effective Robinson's invective was. We are at Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. I'm Jim Lampley with Ken Stabler. 9:32 to go in the second quarter of a game which has, in terms of offense, been all Minnesota. The Vikings lead 14-0. They've gotten 3 big passing plays on the day, 2 of them to Anthony Carter. The first set up a touchdown. The second was a 46-yard touchdown. Everett fakes the draw and is sacked. Number 79 is Doug Martin, 8-year veteran out of the University of Washington. Of course, his brother plays for the Giants.
2 tight end formation on this play, Jim, and I think they do that to try to help control some of this pass rush, but they're breaking down on the inside. The defensive end, you see Martin coming loose, and you really can't fault young Jim Everett for this one. Keith Millard coming back to make the tackle from behind on Dickerson. It'll be 3rd down, and they're back to just about the original line of scrimmage. That's the thing you'll probably see more this year from Ernie Zampese's offense, is Dickerson catching the ball on more flare-type passes, more screens. The offensive coordinator, of course, for the Rams. That's there he is right there, and he has the right of the screen. He has to be very, very concerned with what's going on right now. Regarded by many as a passing game genius, brought up the coach from San Diego. Give the Rams what they haven't had. Everett. Good throw. Kevin House couldn't hold on. Wyman Henderson was there to help break it up. 3 plays and out. This kid needs pass completions and doesn't get much help from Kevin House here. Pretty well thrown ball. Ball should have been caught right here, right through his hands. Kevin House usually comes up with that play. He needs to help his quarterback out. The offensive line needs to help him by giving him better protection. House needs to help him by coming up with those catches. Richardson deep to await the punt from Dale Hatcher. Another good kick by Hatcher. And again, good coverage by the Rams. Look at Stewart diving over the top there. Larry Kelm was downfield to make the tackle. Vikings will start at their 21 after the 50-yard Hatcher punt. And next Saturday, CBS Sports presents some of the finest runners in the world, like Steve Scott, Eamon Coughlin, Steve Ovett, taking to one of the world's most celebrated streets, the Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue in New York, next Saturday at 1 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Pacific time, right here on CBS Sports. You finish that mile run, and it's about a 4-block walk down to Tiffany if you want to buy some jewelry. I usually do a little running every now and then to the refrigerator for a beer and pick up the remote control changer. You ran a mile one time for about 30 yards credit at Pittsburgh's Three River Stadium. Every time I ran the ball, they threw a delay of game flag. And number 50 is Jim Collins, one of the better tacklers in the NFL. Jerry Gray was the man who was there first to slow Nelson down. Nelson, the role player that we talked about, the little receiver they send out on the pass routes, little flare routes, little checkoffs as he called them, but a good solid tackle by Collins, who is a good tackler in the middle of the Ram defense. 1 year at Stanford, before he was first injured, Nelson had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. Great little back. Very, very versatile player. Anderson and Dozier now behind Wade Wilson. Wilcher again giving chase. Anderson makes the catch. Eckern makes the tackle. Alfred Anderson out of Baylor was a high school legend as a quarterback down in East Texas. Quarterbacks can make good fullbacks at times. Yeah, how's that? Well, you have to be about 6'3" and about 240 and be real tough.
will be 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Vikings with the ball just outside their 25-yard line. 6 defensive backs again in the game for the Rams. Hassan Jones, number 84, has entered at wide receiver for the Vikes. Wiltshire bats the ball away and bats Wilson down too.
Number 54 making the play again. Mike Wiltshire stays in on all of their situations. The regular defense, the nickel situation, dime. There he is, putting the pressure on, batting the ball away. Good pass rusher, good defender in the pass coverage, and a good linebacker in normal defense.
Well, indeed, because he's out of North Carolina, plays the weak side linebacker, and is a great pass rusher, he is sometimes called the poor man's Lawrence Taylor. Today, he's playing like a rich man's Lawrence Taylor. Coleman barely gets it away. Going to be upset about this one. Tim Terrell, number 32, is the man who hit Coleman, and Robinson is livid.
Robbie's blood pressure is going up. I think he's saying that the punter moved out of the pocket to kick the ball like he was going to become a runner. He moved, he took a couple of steps before he punted the ball, and I think that's the argument here.
Well, he did. He certainly came away from his original position.
Running into the kicker. 55 on the defense. First down.
Here's what we were talking about. You see Coleman, the punter, takes the ball. He bobbles the ball a little bit, takes a couple of steps like he's going to run, which he loses his protection there. It's what Robinson is arguing about. And then here you see the roughing.
Don't know why they called 55. He was nowhere near it. It was number 32, Tim Terrell, a reserve fullback who was the man who hit Coleman. Crowd chanting, replay, replay. John Robinson when he was offensive backfield coach, a running back coach, while you were quarterbacking with the Raiders?
Was with the Oakland Raiders in the mid-70s. Great coach, a player's type coach, gives the players a lot of room to do whatever they want. He's an easy man to play for, doesn't demand a lot out of the players when they're off the field, but on the field he demands an awful lot. And he's an easy guy to play for according to the players that we talked to.
Well, now there's a timeout on the field. Replay is supposed to affect plays which involve possession of the football. Umpire appears to be listening to something in his earpiece. NFL officials have told our people in the truck, producer Mark Wolf relaying to me, that replay cannot be involved in this situation. So the Vikings get a first down. A new possession begins for Minnesota. Anderson breaks away behind the first block. Jerry Gray made the tackle for the Rams. Good pickup by Alfred Anderson. Well, if you're a Ram fan, you have to be a little bit.
You see Mel Owens forcing the action. Here comes Anderson cutting inside off of Mel Owens, who makes the play, but he breaks his tackle into the secondary. Jim Collins finally gets to him, and Johnny Gray on the outside. I don't know how long they can stay out there, Jim. The offense is making their defense stay out there an awful long time. Those down linemen and linebackers have to be getting tired at this point.
Second down, 2 yards to go. Dozier breaks the tackle and gets close to a first down. Sean Miller, number 98, made the stop. Carl Eckern was there first, but Eckern couldn't hold Dozier in. When you get tired, you begin to miss tackles.
You begin to miss tackles, you start to make mistakes. And if you look at the defensive line out there and the linebackers, you'll see them on one knee, their hands on their hips, they're bending over. They can't stay out there this long and play effective defense. It's up to the offense to try to maintain control of the ball and let the defense rest.
They gave him credit for the first down, so it's now 1st and 10. Again, they try to reverse. Again, there's nothing there. Doesn't appear as though that's going to work. 93 Doug Reed broke in and made it impossible for Leo Lewis to get to the corner. Collins and Miller were there to finish things off. They tried it twice now for a loss of 9 yards.
Works good against pursuing type defenses, which the Rams are. They pursue very well, but it is the second time they've tried that, and the blocking behind the blocking of the quarterback, Wade Wilson.
Maybe they're too tired to pursue now.
Could be. They've been out there a while.
Lewis goes in motion. Almost had Anthony Carter again. Vince Newsom, just at the last minute, was able to bother Carter enough to prevent the completion.
Here you see the pressure that's applied to Wade Wilson. It's by number 58, Mel Owen, who forced him to throw the ball a little bit quicker than he would have liked to. The ball's a little high, which gives the defensive back time to get there. The reason the ball had to float is because he had to throw the ball over the top of Mel Owen, who was putting the pressure on.
Indeed, if Wilson had had another second, Carter might have been alone down the sideline. 6 defensive backs now for the Rams. 3rd and 12. Wilson is 7 of 17 for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Good coverage that time by Leroy Irvin on the far corner. And the Ram defense holds. Let's see now if the boys in blue and gold can avoid making a mistake on the punt return.
Penalties, penalties, penalties. That's what it's been all day for these guys. On 3 punts in a row, they had penalties. They penalized themselves with a roughing penalty. And the kicking game, special teams, really hasn't been their friend today.
Everett warming up as Ellard awaits Coleman's punt. No pressure that time, and Coleman hits a big one. Ellard almost got away, but stumbled down at the 12-yard line as Gugamos again was downfield under the punt. 49-yard kick, 1-yard return, and you have to be impressed with Neil Gugamos, second-year free agent out of tiny St. Thomas College. Big interception in the second half last week, and a couple of big plays on kick coverage today.
You bet. Real kamikaze. Gets down there and says making his living on special teams, which is one of the best ways for young people, rookies, free agents to make the team, is by making it on the kick return teams.
Well, let's see now if the Rams can annex their second first down of the game. I know Robinson's looking for it. Field position. A hole for Dickerson. He gets the first down across the 25 to the 28. Joey Browner made the stop for the Vikings. Very quickly, scores of other games. Philadelphia beating New Orleans. Randall Cunningham with 2 touchdown passes. The Raiders trailed Detroit 7-6 in the second quarter, and there's a team with quarterback problems. San Diego. What's that?
Think I should loosen up?
I always think you should loosen up. The looser you get, the better you are. San Diego 28-0 in the second quarter over St. Louis. Lionel James had an 81-yard punt return in that game. Well, the Rams finally managed to loosen the Viking defense a little bit for Eric Dickerson. Now they'll try it again. No, the reverse. A lot of blockers for Ellard. But a good job of fighting them off by Jesse Solomon, number 54.
Always a good play when you have a back like Eric Dickerson back there, because they're going to pursue. They're going to go to the ball. They're going to try to get to him. And here's what they do right here. They bring the tight end in motion like it's going to be a crack back. Here's Dickerson, but here comes the receiver around on the outside. But like you said, make a great play on Henry Ellard. He should have followed the block of those good blocking quarterbacks.
Well, they gave up enough for Everett that I'm not sure they'll ever want him to throw a block. McGee and Dickerson are now the running backs behind the golden-armed young man from Purdue. And he drops back. McGee. Now you start to see a little of the old Zampese here as David Howard and Jesse Solomon made the stop for the Vikes.
I think they catch him in some kind of blitz situation here. You see the linebacker right in the middle of the screen. You drop it back, but the linebacker on the right is coming right on the left of your screen, which gives you a man-to-man coverage, and there's the receiver right there in the middle. They caught Buford McGee. They caught him in a man-on-man with a blitz situation. That's the reading type offense that Ernie Zampese likes.
Well, Danny Fouts hit Buford McGee a few thousand times over the middle with that little pass, and that time Everett looked like Fouts.
Danny Fouts hit a lot of it.
Still be doing it every once in a while. 2-minute warning now, and with 2 minutes remaining in the half, the Rams have some spark on offense for the first time all day, trailing 14-0. You've got 2 minutes to go in the half at Anaheim Stadium with the Vikings having played well, leading 14-0. You can certainly see the intensity of our effort as we lean into calling this game. And Snake, it's intensity that the Rams have not been able to show on offense, but now they've gotten more than half their total yardage today on this drive.
The defense has kept them as close as it has, and all the big plays have come on the part of the Vikings from Anthony Carter.
First down, Vikings shuffling just a little bit on defense. Everett fakes to Dickerson, trying to go deep to Ellard. A little push by Carl Lee, number 39, and the obvious interference call coming here. Nothing much Lee could do. The ball was in the air. It was unlikely to be complete. And that's the first big mistake they've made under Jerry Burns today.
First time the Rams have really tested that secondary deep, too. And it's the thing that they have to do is to make them respect the deep pass where they can throw things underneath, get those nickel and dime throws.
Interference. Number 39 on the defense. First down.
29-yard penalty, Snake.
Here's the play right here. They have to test him this way and to get him off. He tips the ball as he's going by for the incomplete pass.
Yeah, but the push had already come. The push was about 5 yards farther up the sideline.
Past the 5-yard zone.
And it was pretty obvious. So now first down for the Rams at the 26. Pitch back from McGee to Dickerson. Fumble. Viking ball.
Little option action.
Big play for the Vikings defense. And that is the second turnover of the game for the Rams. Wyman Henderson came up with the ball for the Vikings. The knock against Dickerson, the greatest yardage gainer in the league, but he does fumble. He hurt him last week, and he hurts him again.
Here's the ground level of it. The ball shakes loose before he's hit, but the knock on him is he does fumble a little bit. You see the ball falling right there. He's hit by Keith Millard as he's going down. And the very same thing happened last week that destroyed one of their scoring drives.
Dickerson led the league in lost fumbles last year, lost one in the fourth quarter that set up the go-ahead touchdown by Houston last week. Here's Darren Nelson. And Nelson breaks for big yardage. Jerry Gray drags him down, but he's across the 50 into Ram territory. 35-yard pickup for the little man from Stanford. And some of this West Coast crowd remembers Darren Nelson's days in Palo Alto.
Here you see the tight end Steve Jordan coming around as a pitch back to Nelson, the role player, and here it is. They kick out on Mel Owen. He breaks to the left. Nolan Cromwell missed the tackle. Jim Collins misses the tackle. Little man just scampers for the first down. Real popular in this area from Stanford.
5 carries for 46 yards today for Darren Nelson. And Minnesota's trying to build on a 14-0 lead. Well, in their first 4 years under John Robinson, since his departure from the University of Southern California to coach the Rams, the team in gold and blue has gone to the playoffs. And now, coming into this year, Kenny, he really believed that he had the personnel he wanted to make a big run at the whole thing.
Well, everybody said that what he needed was a quarterback and some imagination on offense, so he brings in Ernie Zampese from San Diego. He's got a highly touted young quarterback. He needs to win.
Wilson gets away from the first man and not the second. Doug Reed broke through first, and then Mel Owens put Wilson down.
The thing that's hurt them all day is around miscues, their mistakes. You see the fumble, interception. They've been penalized on special teams. They've got 6 penalties for a total of 35 yards. And this is the very thing that takes all the continuity, takes all the consistency away from your offense. And it's just not, it's not something you can do and expect to win, especially with a team like the Vikings, who are a contending team.
Everett sitting down. Quarterback doesn't sit down when his team is playing well. Intentional grounding. Mel Owens was right in Wilson's face. There's a new rule this year. It doesn't matter if there's a receiver in the area if the quarterback makes a throw which the referee determines is purely for the intention of preventing the loss of yardage.
Judgment call on the referee's part. If the quarterback, he thinks, is throwing the ball, it doesn't matter if the receiver is within 5 yards of the ball. If the referee dictates the fact that he's trying to save the yardage, then it's the flag. Here's the play. You see it right here. There's a receiver close by, but you can tell that he was throwing the ball away just to save the sack, and that's the new rule. It's a judgment call on the official's part.
I'm not particularly crazy about the rule myself, but that was an obvious example of it. 3rd and 24. Screen. Alfred Anderson. Fumble. Ball went out of bounds. Nolan Cromwell that time made the hit that caused the fumble.
Long yardage screen, let all the pass rushers come in. There's Nolan Cromwell, who forced the fumble, sits back there and plays center field. Very intelligent, smart player. He's been a leader, a manager, a coach, if you will, a quarterback of the defense, and has been just a terrific player for a long period of time.
One-time quarterback at Kansas, one-time 400-meter hurdler.
Quarterbacks are just good athletes,
aren't they? Still astonishing.
Fullback, block, safeties. Do it all.
How about your quarter-mile time, Snake?
My quarter-mile time? They time me with a calendar.
Coleman back to kick again for Minnesota as the Vikings blew a chance to add, and now Coleman gets it away. This time they hit him and no flag will go down there, but now there's a flag all the way across here on the near side of the field. What's this one going to be about? It's the line judge who made the call.
And lineman downfield, huh?
That's right. So this one goes against the Vikings. Red Cashin chats with Cromwell.
Sure, Coleman probably did that on his own. He saw an opening on the left side and thought he could pick up the first down, but when he ran, those offensive linemen...
downfield by the kicking team. Still be 4th down.
Those offensive linemen are taught to wait certain counts before they release. They count off 1,001, 1,002, and then release. But in this case, you can't fault them. I think Coleman probably did that on his own.
Well, he's not only a good punter, but of course one of the better athletes among punters in the National Football League. So he's back there with an eye toward gambling every once in a while. Played it straight that time, drew the roughing the kicker flag. Ellard, another Ram mistake. Clifford Hicks, number 28, the rookie corner out of Oregon, is the man who hit Greg Coleman after the football left his foot. Might have hurt him, too.
Punt blockers are taught to take an angle 2 or 3 yards in front of the kicker to meet the ball. At that time, he took an angle directly at the punter, and as you see, another penalty, another mistake on special teams.
Number 28
Here it
on
is.
the defense. 1st down.
They're taught to take an angle 2 or 3 yards in front. You see his angle is directly at him. He hits his leg, and there's the penalty. And special teams has been killing the Rams all day. They penalize themselves in out-of-field position, and it's keeping the defense out there, and they can't stay out there all day and play.
Did you ever go in and try to block the kick?
Block a kick? Nope. When the punting was taken, was going on, I was at the Gatorade stand.
Now I couldn't see it. Just couldn't see it. All right, first down now for Wade Wilson and the Vikings, who'll get another chance from their 46-yard line. You've got 23 seconds remaining in the half. One big big play could get him in field goal range. That's what he's looking for. That completion goes to the 40 of the Rams. It was Hassan Jones who made the catch. Clock running. And here's where those 2 timeouts that Wilson called earlier in the half come into play. Now that's interesting. The whistle blows. I thought he threw it backward.
It did look like a lateral. Of course, he was doing it to stop the clock, but it goes back to what we said earlier. It bothers me to see a quarterback what I call waste timeouts during the course of the game. He was confused on a passing down earlier in the game. He took a timeout. He took a timeout in the second quarter of the game. And I've always thought that you need to take those timeouts and use those timeouts in situations just like this where you can control the clock.
Well, they're not close enough for Chuck Nelson to try a field goal. So Wilson's going to have to take a shot from the shotgun formation. Incidentally, that new intentional grounding rule came into play there again because there was no receiver there. But if the quarterback is throwing a ball which is judged by the referee to be purely for the purpose of stopping the clock, then that's not intentional grounding.
Strange rule.
I hate it.
Get outside, Gene!
Turns the referee into a mind reader.
Absolutely.
Mike! Come on back up, Mike! Now, fuck it! Right to hook and lateral.
Well, you heard the word lateral down there, so maybe some of the Rams had the same idea that I did, which was that Wilson had thrown the pass backward. Could it be that we have a replay now? I never saw a Ram come over and cover the ball. Whistle, of course, had blown, and in replay situations, when the whistle has blown the play dead, then the power of the replay official is blunted.
It did look like a lateral. Looked like he threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Here it is. It's going to be hard to tell from this angle if it was behind or not. But here he reset, and you really can't tell if it's behind the line. It looked like it could have been a lateral.
Boy, at best, it was dead parallel to the line of scrimmage, or to the point, I should say, at which he released it. And at worst, it was a lateral. The official behind the play, who had no better angle for judging whether or not the pass was thrown forward than we did.
Based on review by the replay, the pass was thrown backwards, but the whistle was blown, so the ball still belongs to Minnesota.
There you
the clock
go.
will start on the ready.
All right, what's wrong with instant replay? Well, the whistle can kill its power.
Yeah. Why can't it be used on every play like this? If you're going to use it at all. Rams could recover that, be in position to possibly kick a field goal.
Yeah, the problem there, as Wilson takes a shot into the end zone, the problem there was that the replay system created an instance where the officials had to say, we made a bad call, and it didn't matter because we had blown the whistle afterwards.
Didn't particularly help the Rams, though, did it?
Sure didn't. And the Rams are almost beyond help now, as John Robinson chats with Red Cashin, probably about precisely what we were just talking about. So it is 14-0 Vikings in a first half, which from the standpoint of quality football has been all Minnesota.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. The Bartles and James Premium Wine Cooler Company. And by AT&T, the right choice.